Linka. You know how you always told me that you wanted to watch a Thai superhero film where the hero battles Osama bin Laden?
No!
Well, good for you. It's Osama bin Ali.
My name's not Linka!
Welcome to a top and fourth wall where bad comics burn. Linkara's gonna teach you all a lesson you won't learn. Brodsky, you're not the smartest. Liefeld, you're not an artist. Anyone who's had a bad comic published, it could be your turn. Linkara! He's a man punch, wears a purdy hat. Linkara! He's got a magic gun, where did he purchase that? Linkara! Coins, robots, Amazons and trucks. Linkara! This comic sucks. Linkara!
You know, you could have just asked me. I don't have another panel for a few hours and I got nothing to do before then.
No, I don't know where he is. He said he'd be 5 minutes.
I used to be small. Can you pretend you are and sign my DVD? I'm the #1 Linkara fan. I'm dying of plottitis and I need her to know that I'm cool.
Can you see I'm on the phone? He better get here in 5 minutes, because I swear I am incredibly late for a Diamanda Hagan cameo. Gosh.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to be somewhere right now.
Here.
I'm sure it'll come to me.
You're supposed to be here.
No, it's not that. Anyway, what were we watching?
Mercury Man. What's to say about this film? Not too much, actually. It's a Thai superhero film made in a basically Western style, mainly inspired by the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films. And it's fucking awesome!
And he fights Al-Qaeda, right?
Pretty much. He fights a version of Al-Qaeda where they're all operating in Bangkok. Osama bin Ali, is a male model, and his army are a multicultural group of mainly Westerners.
Well then, it's good to know that Islamists and white people are both equally the other in Thailand. What's Mercury Man's powers? The ability to measure the ambient temperature in a room?
Well, his main power is to be amazingly heroic. Like, be a firefighter, take part in a training exercise, and almost kill yourself rescuing a fucking doll heroic.
Well, that is certainly heroic. After seeing that the production company is really into sheep, we begin in a temple and a bunch of children are using a psychic kid to run a betting ring.
It kinda looks like a UNICEF infomercial done by Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters.
Anh mình ơi, nãy mình ha. Thôi mưa bỏ. Sao vậy anh nè? Ôi, lui để ban câu anh này.
Well, how dumb you have to be to meet Akira, see his CGI powers with your own 2 eyes, cheat him, and then try to punch his friend.
Dumb enough to be shocked when he possesses your friend and makes him stick a knife to your throat.
That's pretty dumb.
Anh cứ nói đó. Anh cứ nói anh nuôi.
I'd love to know what direction that kid got. Impersonate someone with a lobotomy after skimming over a brief description of one? His performance is quickly interrupted, though, by some cops/criminals/tourists/guys who wandered onto the set with vintage 6-shooters who decide to kidnap the kid with the powers.
Don't worry, dude. That happens to most criminals at least once in their career. Kid with the powers napped!
Out of all the horrible things you have done, that line might be the worst.
Oh. It's all downhill from here, then.
Then we're in Ruralstan, one of the less touristy parts of Thailand, with a majority population of yaks and a beautiful tradition of washing stones down by the river. A group of Osama bin Ali's men have disguised themselves as pilgrims so they can attack the local temple.
Unfortunately, they didn't research their cover well enough and didn't realize that villages in this area don't burn rifles for fuel.
Ah, the ancient truth. Only a good guy with a yak can stop a bad guy with a yak.
But a woman armed with a desire to kill shit can clearly be almost as good. I love this slow, dramatic reveal to the guys who already know her that she has a face. Classic terrorist. The temple's unusually well defended on account of the ancient magical relic inside. You know, if you kill everyone, there won't be anyone left to tell you where the relic is. These guys are efficient, I like it.
It's certainly not wasting time on stuff like nuance, I'll give you that. The evil woman takes a terrified child from her distraught mother, and I miss a time when I could watch a cartoonish supervillain in a movie and not be reminded of the government.
Anyway, they get into the temple. I think we're supposed to take the kid's murder as read. And there, the golden ring for service bell. That looks relic-shaped. But little do they suspect that the white supremacy Buddha is guarded. They clearly take customer service very seriously in Thailand.
Ooh, the tops are off now! Is it possible to make a "the gloves are off now" joke about their jackets and have it not sound sexual?
Only if you don't care that the joke's crap.
It's the epic showdown between the shoulder pads and her arch nemesis, the vest! Pray tell, when does the actual superheroing start? Are they easing us into it? Because mystical martial arts is one thing, but adding spandex just makes it weird.
Be patient, we've not even met the greatest hero of them all. Fireman! Anyway, the evil woman gets away with the relic, and 10 minutes in we get the opening credits. And they're mainly of stalagmites. Weird.
Yeah, kinda weird.
We see that the Master from the 1996 Doctor Who TV movie has decided to battle another Time Lord, the Monk, who just sort of milks him and cuts him in half.
Weird.
Yeah, kinda weird.
Actually, this is the creation of the relic that was stolen. It's a mystical amulet kept inside that golden container. Apparently it used to be a tapeworm made of ooze. I'm doubting this will be important to the plot.
Maybe the film's just sponsored by an eccentric hair gel company and this is advertising. Oh, you hear that? That gets you in the mood for some mindless heroism.
Gets me in the mood for a Papa Roach opening act.
Here's our hero, Chan, the firefighter, the most mindlessly heroic person in film history. Like I said, it's a training exercise, but he risks his life, goes against orders, leaps over a burning sofa, deliberately goes past a live gas tank that's on fire, and then abseils out of an exploding building on the edge of his fire axe in order to save a doll.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Wait a sec. I am.
Honestly, I'm thinking that when he gets his powers and supersuit, it'll end up being something of a step down for him.
Well, I'm thinking he could have raced up the Twin Towers and saved the day by eating all the jet fuel, fire, and smoke.
เด็กปลอดภัยครับหัวหน้า
Maybe they forgot to inform him that they'd stopped endangering actual children.
อีกแล้วเหรอชาญนายอยากเป็นฮีโร่มากไงนายเข้าใจไหมคำว่าทีมเวิร์กอ่ะ
There's no I in baby saving, Chan. Yeah, there is in the word saving. There isn't in Thai, Chan.
เฮ้ยชาญกูไม่เข้าใจมึงว่ะทำไมเวลาฝึกเนี่ยมึงจริงจังนักวะ
Hey Chan, I don't understand why you have a passion for things like saving lives. Myself, I got into firefighting because of the pole, and because I like watching things burn. Oh, he's about to be chewed out by the boss.
มาพร้อมกับความรับผิดชอบอันยิ่งใหญ่
I'm sorry, but this doesn't work here.
How so?
I love a Spider-Man reference as much as the next nerd, but this is just silly. He doesn't have great power or great responsibility. He has great heroism. He's like Spider-Man, but only if they removed everything but his desire to save people, including the stuff with the spider.
Yeah, if anything, his character arc really should be about learning to be less heroic.
ไอ้สไปเดอร์แมนเนี่ยมันยังคิดก่อนทำเลย
I like how they call him Spider-Man without the hyphen, like he runs a deli in New York.
Anyway, important speech over. Chan's boss has other appointments. I think the next one's with a burglar, his gun, and an ironic twist. Back at the station green room, Chan is visited by his sister, the film's celebrity guest, Nam Tong.
เล่นอะไรกันอยู่จ้าเพื่อน
Who?
It's Nam Tong.
I don't know who that is.
It's Nam Tong!
Hang on, I'm gonna Google this. Okay, this can't be right. It says here it's a kind of soup.
Yeah, not a soup. She was a national Thai kickboxing champion, a trans woman who broke down all kinds of barriers and kicked much ass. There's a really good film made about her called Beautiful Boxer.
Well, I'm glad she's not a soup. Anyway, she's playing Chan's sister Grace, who's into fashion.
Meanwhile, Osama bin Ali, feared leader of Al-Qaeda.
Al-Keenzer?
Albuquerque?
Al-Quinoa?
Al-Baristwith?
Al-Bundy?
Yeah, I'll go with that. Osama bin Ali, feared leader of Al-Bundy, is being held near Bangkok, and his people decide to spring him. And now they can't hide on the way back out of the prison. Great work. Anyway, why are they springing him? Because if they didn't, the film would have a lot less plot, and that just wouldn't do.
It allows the film to briefly turn into a Godfrey Ho movie, and that's always a plus. Whoa! Stealth plus a railing kill. That's gotta be worth at least an extra 20 XP. So this is kind of an Islamist version of Batman Arkham Asylum, except there's no superheroes around. Actually, no. They set the prison on fire and Shan's on his way. This is exactly like an Islamist version of Batman Arkham Asylum.
Welcome to your freedom.
Welcome to your terrible delivery.
Welcome to your god-awful line.
It's not often we get to see actual video game acting in real life.
Welcome to your doom.
X-Men, welcome to die. Welcome to your freedom.
I'm Beef White Steak, and I'm here to rescue you. The guards are having trouble stopping Osama bin Jim clothes and his Kabuki warriors, because they're dressed like traditional stagehands and therefore invisible until they strike.
The fact that the guards are studiously ignoring the men shooting them in favor of keeping an eye on the guys safely locked up is also a factor. Hey, what did the prison guards do to Bin Ali? What's that they glued to his face? Oh, wait. Sorry, that's meant to be a beard. Moving on. My evildoer sense is tingling. Chan has decided to do what the guards can't and beat the crap out of the escaping terrorists with an axe.
It works for a while until he gets stabbed with a relic from the temple. It enters his body like an obvious joke but an eventful night in Bangkok. That's how he gets his powers. It kind of fuses with his body.
I've definitely seen worse origins, and not always from Rob Liefeld. The amulet's given him the power of great internal heat. This means super strength, agility, being warm, magnetism, nigh invulnerability, and super healing. All because of the molten metal or whatever that's in his body.
I'm not sure that the makers of this know what heat is.
Having had a long sleep, Chan wakes up in Outworld, domain of the legendary Bored Buddha, and starts bothering a groundskeeper with questions.
ช่วยบอกผมหน่อยว่าที่นี่ที่ไหนทำไมร่างกายผมร้อนอย่างนี้
Why is my body so hot? A superhero actor's eternal question.
Yeah, but most other ones just eat steamed chicken until they get abs and aren't in danger of literally combusting.
กายที่ร้อนเกิดจากใจที่ร้อนกายจะเย็นต้องเกิดจากใจที่เย็น
The monk, trying to teach him to control his abilities via the power of koans, looks like he's missing a flat cap, pint, darts, and the rest of the pub. Anyway, that was a dream, and he wakes up in a different temple-ish place, ready to be taught to control his powers by a non-imaginary Buddhist clergyman.
We can complain about how narratively unnecessary all this is, but I'm sort of glad the person who's actually teaching him isn't a figment of his imagination.
I'm glad that someone that shit at sweeping wasn't actually real. Back at the base, someone's finally removed the axe skin from Osama bin Ali's face, revealing the least threatening fundamentalist terrorist ever seen.
Yeah, that guy looks like he'd get a swirly at a Taliban training camp. Every day. Till he went back home.
He's camper than a row of tents, isolated and inhabited by angry young men seeking to overthrow secular government and replace it with a caliphate. He's so camp ISIS would throw him off a building and then drop it on him.
Why does this casting exist?
I'm not sure, but he's in a band and he did the theme song.
For more than 50 years, helpful country rent our souls and destroyed our families in cold blood.
Well, at least we know he didn't get the part because of his oratory skills in the English language. His men look really relieved that few of them can understand what the hell he's saying, so they can imagine it's really impressive.
America has to pay.
Why is he speaking speaking English in Thailand during his anti-America speech?
I can think of 2 reasons, and they're both kind of dumb. 1, English is foreign, but not too foreign because most Thai people understand at least some of it.
And 2?
It's been done to confuse us.
Like, just us? I'm not sure we're that important, but your other idea was a bit far-fetched, so I'll go with it.
The terrorists have hooked the kid from the startup to whatever the fuck this thing is.
Heh, looks like he's kidnapping.
There are 2 magical amulets. The moon amulet, which is cold and they already have, and the sun amulet, which is hot and they left inside Chan. They need to join the 2 together to rule the universe as Campman and lackeys or something.
I will get the sun amulet back from the firefighter myself.
I literally just realized we could have brought his seemingly dead body with us when we broke you out of jail. My bad.
Thank you. ISIS sent our people out to let the world know that Usama Ali is free.
Looking at these idiots, I'm guessing he'll use a daring and provocative ad campaign, or maybe a range of beard groomers in vivid colors. Oh no, the sexiest members of the cell are gonna blow some tourists up!
May the force be with you.
Oh wow, the full destructive capability of George Lucas's dialogue has finally been realized! Chan somehow made it home, where he's dealing with his newfound superpowers by being irritated at his mum for giving a shit about him. And by cutting himself, because how else are you going to confirm if you get a healing factor?
Not only does he heal, but his blood quickly turns all silvery and hard, like the T-1000 when he made all those adult films after his career stalled post-Terminator 2. So remember that there are 2 amulets, one hot and one cold, the sun and the moon amulet? Well, things get unnecessarily complicated when the ass-kicking nun from the start of the film appears searching for the amulet that's currently in Chan's body. Even though she already started training him to use his powers, unless the one that was training him was a dream, like the monk who also trained him, but that would seem to be a wholly unnecessary amount of imaginary teachers.
ซึ่งประเทศของคุณเรียกเหล็กไหลสุริยัน ส่วนของเราเรียกเหล็กไหลจันทรา
This has certainly recreated the convoluted nature of comic books accurately.
It's so good.
Oh wait, she's meant to be Tibetan. The temple the amulet was from was supposed to be in Tibet. So why did she waste all of her magic powers on randomly learning to speak Thai instead of using them to find out who stole the amulet?
เรายังไม่แน่ใจ เรารู้แต่ว่าพวกนั้นเป็นกลุ่มก่อการร้าย
Oh, well that certainly narrows it down.
My money's in the Red Army faction.
Mine's on Cobra.
ETA. UDF. UDA. IRA. PIRA. RIRA.
The Republican Party.
Oh! A film can be measured by the amount of random people who turn up to explain shit to the hero, and this is certainly a film. Basically, he's all hot and stuff now, and when he gets adrenaline, he's in danger of burning up.
คุณอย่ากลัวไปเลย สิ่งที่คุณได้รับเป็นสิ่งที่ดี
So we should probably deal with that via Buddhism or by punching people in the face.
What I'm not getting is why, if he's so hot, does he feel hot? A high internal body temperature makes you feel like everything outside of your body is cold. That's why people with fevers often feel like they're cold. So why isn't he bundling up for this trip to the library?
สนใจเรื่องเหล็กไหลเหรอ
What? There's only one? Do all the gift shops keep selling it over and over again? He learns about the history of the amulets via this jaunty little animation. They fell to Earth in meteorites, and what the fuck is that?
It's like Dennis Nedry and Mr. DNA shared an illicit evening watching Silk Stockings together, and the resulting offspring became the Thai Neil deGrasse Tyson!
This is meant to be Chan's imagination. This man is clearly dangerous. Long story short...
This story will never not be long.
Long story, slightly less long. The meteor broke up and the pieces took on various properties depending on where they landed. One that was found somewhere cold took on the power of cold. One ended up somewhere hot took on the properties of heat. And one found in New Jersey became really unappealing.
You know, I've read a lot of comics, but I've never seen Lysenkoism applied to magic rocks before.
ฉะนั้นถ้าใครได้ครอบครอง
If you possess it, you must help others. That's just science.
With great power
comes hellish CGI.
This film is so starved for Cliff Robertson, he's dreamed 3 of the 4 Uncle Ben stand-ins thus far.
The evil woman uses her greatest talents to track down Chan. She stands in a fire station and asks someone for his address.
พอจะมีที่อยู่ไหมคะ
Hopefully, the resulting showdown will push Chan into getting his super suit. But first, Chan really misunderstood what his fever dream was asking him to do, so he has a porn break.
He'll probably need flame-proof clothes.
I was kidding!
Never ever kid when a movie's about. It just gives them ideas.
ชาญกินข้าวไหมลูกตามสบายนะ
Ahem. Wanker, wanker, pants on fire.
อย่าลงไปครับแม่
Grace has arrived with some of her designs. It just so happens that they're for superhero costumes, and one of them even looks just like the marking that appeared on Chan's skin when he got his powers. Clearly this means that I should get a tax break. Also, my predictions never come true when it'd be useful.
And I am thinking the evil woman's groundbreaking plan earlier failed because they've been reduced to teleporting into the flat via the curtains. Hang on, I think I've worked it out. They're Muslim terrorists, out to form a califabric in the land of Kurtinistan.
You should have stopped while you were ahead.
I was ahead? What's really confusing about this scene is that the evil woman doesn't seem to realize that the magical amulet is inside Chan.
เหล็กไหลที่ไหนเราต้องการแค่ของของเราคืนอย่าให้เราต้องทำร้ายใคร
I mean, he was stabbed with it, they saw it melt into his body, and what? Do they assume he...
Please don't finish that sentence.
What? I was just gonna suggest that maybe he found another magical amulet and left it in his flat.
Oh, fine.
But, you know, him shitting out the amulet and putting it in his fireplace works just as well. Hey, remember how I mentioned that Grace is played by Nom fucking Tong?
The terrorists aren't the only ones to arrive via the curtain portal, though. The nun's back, ready for round 2 with her nemesis. It's all very good martial arts, but my favorite part is when the nun grabs Chan and drags him out of the apartment, leaving his mom and sister to the terrorists. And then, of course, the terrorists just decide to leave.
The cops are here. Let's go.
Eventually, the nun gives Chan even more exposition, explaining that if the sun and moon amulets are combined, it'll create a weapon of amazing power. Kinda like if they weaponized that Star Trek The Next Generation episode Masks.
Chan steals some fireproof material from the station, I assume via his fists, and mails it to Grace to turn into a superhero costume for him. I kind of wish she assumed he meant the Zhazh the Tourna fan art that I'm sure she has somewhere.
We get a flashback to Osama bin Ali's origin.
Because that's what this impossibly long origin story needs, more origin.
He was in Afghanistan, I assume for a modeling gig, when his wife and daughter were killed by American soldiers.
You have to pay.
This is why he just had to attack Thailand.
I like that no matter where or when he is, his makeup is on point. His gang is amazing, like the United Colors of Benetton if it was made up of pricks. Like a bunch of assholes who work for a mid-sized American apparel that specializes in kefias.
Afghan apparel.
Very good! After the earlier crowd scene, you'd probably wonder how this gang could get even more ethnically diverse. Well, that's why they got a 1960s Klingon involved. Chan's finally getting trained in how to use his powers. Now, refusing the call is a usual part of the hero's journey, but he refused all the calls and then blocked its number. He only picked up after he was knocked out and the call dragged him away.
You'd think he'd be happy for a new avenue for his hobby, but it looks like there's not much call for doll rescue outside of the training building.
How does somebody find out they can do that?
To make the training montage as dramatic as possible, they intercut the training with Grace making his costume. Now, this place where he's training seems to be the place from his dream. Or maybe it was a spirit world. Either way, I'm pretty sure it's not the sort of place you can usually phone from.
แล้วก็ไม่โทรมาบอกแม่สักคำรู้ไหมว่าแม่เป็นห่วงชาญขนาดไหน
She is gonna be so pissed off when she realizes that he's been hiding it in the wasteland at the end of the street.
Unlikely, she's not even a little miffed at him for running out and leaving her to the mercy of international terrorists. The same terrorists who have finally realized their mistake in leaving without Chan's family and so rectify it. Better late than never, I suppose.
ชาญช่วยแม่ด้วย
I feel really bad for Chan's mom. It's like, no one told her she wasn't in a soap opera.
Oh yes, poor thing.
The script badly needs a re-edit or 3 to streamline the whole thing. At least they left Grace enough time to finish the costume before they kidnapped her, because it is a pretty sweet costume. For a Black Power Ranger.
Okay, this might actually be my favourite moment of the film. He literally sent the fireproof material to Grace and asked her to make him a superhero suit, and only now, after it's finished, does he realise that, holy fuck, I have a superhero suit!
Wonder if they painted that graffiti on the building themselves, or wasted a few hours trying to find somewhere with thematically appropriate writing. It was very kind of Grace to add some LEDs and a bunch of muscles to the costume.
It looks like the movie Spawn costume if Todd McFarlane can only see in black and white, and was a graffiti artist. I wonder how much he had to cut himself to paint that silver on the suit.
How did he know they were criminals?
The same way he managed to miss all the real cars and kill the CGI one. It's all down to his wide-ranging but vague power set. He's got detect evil from the Toxic Avenger, and a hatred of bad CGI from being an upstanding citizen. The next morning, the local news is abuzz with talk the mysterious hero killed that guy, who on balance was probably a criminal.
ตำรวจตะลุงคนเหล็ก2005
Sounds like a massive improvement over Terminator's 3 till 2004. The terrorist's resident science bro has taken part of the moon amulet, the cold amulet that they already have, and turned it into a bullet. A bullet with the power to give you the sniffles, I assume.
Stop! No!
I'm most impressed by how they trained it to hurt everything but them. Now, you'd think that a feared terrorist organization armed with that could do whatever its plans are, but no! They still want the other fucking amulet!
It gets even weirder because the Dr. Club Sano explains the moon amulet is plutonium and the sun amulet is uranium.
The moon amulet is plutonium, but the sun amulet has a component of uranium.
You'd think that uniting the two in a single bullet would create an increased risk of cancer, but no, it'll apparently destroy an entire city.
Which will be very useful because a bullet made from the moon amulet can already do that.
Come on, it's obvious. The united sun-moon amulet bullet will be able to destroy a marginally larger city.
The power is equivalent to a quarter of the atomic bomb which hit Nagasaki.
You know, as supervillain weapons go, that is fairly underpowered. In a daring new plot, the kid with powers from the very start of the film has finally woken up and instantly mind-controlled one of the terrorists into driving him to freedom. Which makes you wonder, A, what they were dosing him with, and B, why they stopped. This leads to him freaking out at the sight of buildings and making an elephant go on a rampage.
สายตรวจร้านนี้มีช้างตกมาอาละวาด
It's really unfair. These guys were partying with their elephants, and then Akira comes over and decided to be a dick. Still, it gives Mercury Man the chance to fight elephants.
I expect a sequel where Tony Jaa gets revenge on Mercury Man for trapping his girlfriend in a quadrangle.
2 elephants enter! 1 elephant leaves!
Who runs Bartertown? Baba runs Bartertown!
Mercury Man is an awesome superhero. As he stands around posing, one of the terrorists grabs the half-naked psychic kid, injects him with something, and then drops him on the ground unconscious before running away. I assume he returned to base, got yelled at by Benally, and returned to pick him up, finding Mercury Man still posing.
Listen, about 40% of being a superhero is standing around and posing. Show a little respect. I'm kind of wondering what the point of the kid's little excursion was. The makers really couldn't think of a reason the elephants could have gone on a rampage without psychic influence? They wanted to make Mercury Man look like a negligent dick?
So there's been a robbery at a local bank, and I'm assuming a dictionary was among the items stolen.
I have to say, I am enjoying Mercury Man defeating all these regular level criminals while the gang of super terrorists who kidnapped his entire family are still out there setting off large explosions. It's kind of like Batman beating up jaywalkers while the Penguin is mayor of Gotham.
Okay, so he kills a drink driver, but only strips a violent rapist caught in the act. With those priorities, I think I could see him fitting in with the MCU Netflix shows.
He'd have to move most of his action scenes to hallways first. He's been doing all these heroics, and I'm not kidding about this, to get the attention of the terrorists so they'll come to him. Because that plan's clearly not worked, and just turned him into a celebrity, the nun reveals that she has a magical relic compass.
ทำไมคุณเพิ่งบอกผม
มันเสียตั้งแต่วันที่ฉันไปช่วยคุณที่บ้าน
It was broken before, but now the script has established you as Mercury Man, so we can progress to the next plot point.
งั้นไปกันเถอะ
You think that Let's Going would involve dressing in his costume and using his powers, but no. It's time for a probably contractually obligated martial arts scene.
I'm not sure how it manages it, but it looks like everyone involved learned martial arts from watching episodes of Xena Warrior Princess.
You say that like it's a bad thing. Anyway, Grace has been rescued, but the plot's moving quicker than the action scenes, so she and the nun have a fight. When she comes to, she explains that their mom's in another castle, so next stop, eventually attacking the lighthouse in nefariousness. It kinda looks like the title screen for an NES game.
A Buddhist monk has a magic spell that can attract the amulet into his hands by luring it with honey.
I'm sorry. What? Is it a fly?
A Buddhist monk has a magic spell that can attract the amulet into his hands by luring it with honey.
I still don't understand.
They say honey is like a bee sting, and a bee sting is like electricity, and electricity disrupts his powers.
Killer bees? Where?
What I mean is,
honey has a similar substance to that of a bee sting, consisting of enzymes, proteins, amino acids, and most importantly, ion or electric charge.
You mean the amulet can be defeated by electricity?
Yes.
Okay, that's David Lynchian troll logic, but okay. That still doesn't explain why honey attracts the amulet. At best, this is explaining how you could defeat Mercury Man if you pelted him with bees.
His god.
I still don't understand.
To make this even worse, she's not explaining some ancient wisdom or anything like that. When she fought Chan, she noticed he was weakened by electricity and she reverse engineered it into something to do with honey.
I still don't understand.
And since her whole speech is in English, we're safe in the knowledge that it's not a translation error in the subtitles. The terrorists set a trap for Chan at the local terrorist nightclub, because where else would they find electricity or bees to subdue him with?
We were waiting for you.
Welcome to your buzzing sensation.
The trap worked and he's lost his powers. Luckily, his newfound martial arts abilities are unaffected.
Doubly luckily, the villains don't realize his suit is fireproof. So all the terrorist fire dancers have done is turn him into a micro-budget version of the Human Torch. I'm not convinced that's any better for them.
I like how the sprinklers only affect this tiny square in the room. It looks awesome in the fight, but the evil fire code clearly leaves a lot to be desired. Chan's under attack by... it's the three storms from Big Trouble in Little China if they've been out all night clubbing and their powers were derived from excessive popper consumption.
They look like Dazzler if she was three dudes. Could this cell be where the actual Islamist terrorists and their useless screw-ups? Like the ones who couldn't get their vests to detonate, so they dressed them up as glam rockers instead?
Anyway, eventually the power thing gets shut down and Chan gets his powers back. Just in time for the patrons who ran off to realize that there isn't actually a door to escape through and get so incensed that they just have to try and beat him to death.
It's good talk.
No, it wasn't.
Is it just me, or does this music sound like it was sampled from an episode of Xena?
Nah, it sounds like it was sampled from an episode of Hercules. Xena probably guessed it though.
Yeah, sounded familiar.
I agree, movie. Marine water research is sinister. Chan has come to the lighthouse for parley because we've just not had quite enough explanations. The terrorists have identified a ship in the harbor. It's filled with chemical weapons to be shipped to the Middle East. They aim to blow it up to stop their potential use on civilians, but as a side effect, they're also going to kill hundreds of children, so screw those guys.
ทุกภารกิจต้องมีผู้เสียสละ
Lady, it doesn't count as sacrifice if you kill other people's kids as collateral damage.
Yeah, only your own.
Yeah. Wait, what? No!
Really? I must tell Yahweh next time I see him. He'll be shocked.
It's Children's Day at the harbor. You can just wait 12 hours if you don't want to be cartoonishly evil. Sorry, gotta kill the children. You know, if she just removed the kill hundreds of children part of the plan, he might have helped them destroy the ship. But Mercury Man assaulting a ship like a really big Street Fighter 2 bonus stage really doesn't make for a satisfying finale. And don't worry, nor would just shooting the boat with the moon amulet to sink it.
Chan's given the terrorists his amulet in exchange for his mother. Now, we know it's obviously a fake, but I'm mystified as to why the bad guys don't. To reiterate, they stabbed him with it, it melted into his body, and he now has superpowers. Why don't they just assume they have to take it from his warm, dead hands? Literally.
เดี๋ยวเราจะได้รู้เนี่ยของจริงหรือของปลอมถ้ามันกันกระสุนได้แสดงว่ามันเป็นของจริง
Can we stop whoever's doing the subtitles from sneaking liquor into their office? It's unprofessional. Because even the cast of Mercury Man is occasionally capable of basic logic, Benali soon figures out that the amulet's fake by threatening to shoot Chan's mum. I believe that postulation was first described by Bertrand Russell.
Now, you might be wondering to yourself why exactly they kidnapped that psychic kid if all they're going to do is keep him in a state of undress and wired up to a machine. Well, they're using his powers to shut down the American ship's engines so it can't sail away.
I wonder if the reactor's down.
Wow, the kid's powers even extend to dubbing and silly accents.
I'd have thought that just finishing the plan by sinking the ship with the pistol nuke they made days ago would have been easier than finding, kidnapping, and imprisoning Anthony Fremont, but that's why I'm an intergalactic hero, and they're all really bad at terrorism.
I don't understand. Why is his body full of metal?
Even I know that, and I'm barely paying attention.
Ooh, porn. Chan's mum keeps interrupting their attempts at vivisection to the gag her and hopes she'll think it's night and just fall asleep. After a pep talk from yet another Dream Uncle Ben stand-in, this one's important because he glows, Chan remembers the second part of his plan. Kick the crap out of the bad guys. Outside, Grace, the nun, and one of Chan's friends, I think he was in this scene, have decided there's too much finale for only one hero, and so have arrived to fuck up as many of the guards as they can. And between the three of them, that's about 8 people. It's a bit disappointing, really.
In
Thailand, sometimes fires fight back. He's fighting this guy, Grace is beating up the science bros, and the flying nun assaults the villainy lady, leaving Chan to fight literally everyone else. I'd say it's unfair, but there aren't enough terrorists in the country to make this a fair fight.
Cleverly, Chan has put his full costume back on, just in case the terrorists get short-term amnesia thanks to all the brain damage he's going to give them.
ฉันจะตอนให้แกภายใน5 วินาที
ขอโทษ หมอทำให้ฉันแล้ว
Very good.
No time! Thanks, movie. I often wondered what you used to tune a laser harp. Any ideas why it's not affected by all the electricity powering the ship, but is hurt by that thing?
Because it's green. It's clearly made of kryptonite.
It might be surprising, but for some reason, a scientist with hair like a busted song doesn't last long in single combat against international level martial artist Nam Tong. This is the part of the film where the choreographers got bored with the normal fighting and just decided that everyone has powers now.
I'm impressed. Fighting while the whole world's spinning around you can't be easy.
Yes, movie. I loved Azumi as well. The terrorists launched their missile, they didn't get the amulet from Chan, so I guess he wasn't that important after all. The nun defeats the evil woman and figures that since she's one of the heroes, she can stop the missile via hacking. She cannot.
You gotta love the moments of realism.
Call the Thai Navy to start the anti-missile operation now.
I like how just about any accent coming out of a white person speaking English is just assumed to be American.
For some reason that I doubt I'll ever understand, the US Navy ship doesn't have any weapons, so the Thai Navy has to deal with it. Via what looks like World War II anti-aircraft guns. And the RoboCop theme.
Dead or alive, Missile, you're coming with me.
Hey, Missile, you're fired!
ไปตรวจสอบดูซิว่าทำไมเรือนิก USA ถึง
There are so many possible reasons.
The evil woman noticed that the moon amulet's played by rock candy, and so does the obvious thing and gets it inside of her to absorb its sugary powers.
Good lord, that was the loudest sugar high I've ever heard.
ชานคะ
Hey, nun lady, I found a kid. Want to adopt him with me? So Osama bin Ali decides to get some pretty outside-the-box revenge on Chan by strapping his mom into a spare suicide vest he just happened to have lying around.
You know, this is one of the few films where that's kind of believable. He also sent the rest of his people and their identical bags into Bangkok with their own bombs, ready to rain death as soon as he stops monologuing. Which will take a while. Plenty of time to stop him. I can get behind him bombing the McDonald's, though. It'll be like Mac and Me if it was made by Zack Snyder.
พวกคุณอาจจะมองว่าการกระทำของเราโหดร้ายเหมือนสัตว์ป่า
I'm offended!
Yeah, Americans value death as much as anyone else.
Yeah! The bombs fail thanks to the kids' powers, demonstrating why you should really make sure you're on the same page as any psychic kids you enslave. Ali drinks poison, does another monologue, and kinda melts.
I'm so glad they established the existence of a poison that makes diarrhea come out of your eyes. Just imagine how confusing this would have been if they hadn't.
The evil woman arrives, ready for something like the final showdown. I mean, the plan's ruined, her boss is dead, there's nothing she can accomplish, but we'd all feel cheated if Chan didn't get to punch another super person in the face.
She's a little less frigid than I expected.
No.
You know, it's a very long series, but I'm really enjoying reading A Throwdown of Ice and Fire.
I prefer a game of groans.
Okay, so how are you gonna get your hands out of there? Didn't think this through.
Oh, well, that's a unique way to deal with it. Don't!
Anyway, when in doubt, just do what Chan does. Raise your body temperature enough to melt the ice through your heat-resistant suit, but not so hot as to damage the suit. Then channel the heat to your knees, crush your opponent's head, and explode her.
Wise words.
Damn right.
Okay, how did a whole silverish amulet come out of her body? They cut part of it off, and it turned into a mini-nuke, then she stabbed herself with a tiny yellow part of it? Why did it change color? Did parts of her body become the amulet? If so, was it gonna stop that much? Is Chan gonna wake one day and find himself turned into a really warm and svelte version of Colossus? I have so many questions that I don't really want answers to.
The kid got sent home, Chan's maybe gonna date the nun, even though she's maybe not supposed to do that, and one of the dream Uncle Bens was actually a long-dead monk who merged with a third amulet because cliffhanger. I fucking love this film. Yeah, it's a bit naff, the martial arts are fairly crap, and the CGI is terrible, but the villains are hilariously miscast. Mercury Man looks awesome and has great powers. Nam Tong is a fucking legend, and we see a guy in spandex fight 2 elephants. I don't get the rough reputation this film has.
I thought you had to have heard of something for it to have a reputation.
Well, that was fun, and look at the time! Hey, Linka, do you want to join me for dinner? It would be...
Oh crap, a store! I was supposed to be watching the store! Crap, 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 crap!
How rude. Oh, well, I don't have to apologize to whoever you left wedding. I'm Demanda Hagan. I have to have that every day.
And I'm still not Linka! She was from Captain Planet!
Sorry I'm late. Linkara has a lot of really sick fans and I had to man his booth. Can we still record the cameo?
We just did.